Okay everyone, so welcome again to another one of our lessons here, and in this section of our lessons for Media Query, we'll be working with our children's story section here. So the first thing that I would want to do here is to go and try to apply some media queries for the children stories heading that we have here. And one of the easiest way for you to find some content inside of your document will be to use the Control F, and then you would see here I just highlighted this, and now it's here in our Control F feature of Visual Studio Code, and you would see here everyone on the right side of our preview here of our code. It shows us an easy way to navigate through our code in our document using the F Control plus F or find feature of Visual Studio Code. So we know that this is the section or the element that we would want to target. And if we go back here in this specific part, so we do have that here. And actually, we can first work with the children's stories here. So same deal here, guys. Let me just go and highlight that and Control F. You would see now that it's showing us the numbers of words, similar words that is in our document. So if we go down here, there we go. We have this section class targeted by our class selector that is located here. And now it's a lot easier for you to look into the different sections of the code that you have written for our document. Okay, so let's go and try to add some media queries for this children's story section. And I would want to go and copy this and put that here. And of course, let's go and Control C, class, and then let's apply a height of 175 VH, position of let's have a padding of 120 pixels and 20 pixels. Let's see how that will look. And there we go. So it moved a little bit. Now let's go close this. Now let's go and apply some media query for our heading here. So for the heading, I would want to go and try to select this. And again, sorry, I wasn't able to add the dot there. Now I would want to text align the content to center. Let me refresh. Okay, so it's there. Now I would want the width to be at least 50%. Okay. Font size will be 20 pixels. See how that will look. Okay. And then the margin top will be 0. And we were able to move it there. And one thing that I would want to change here will be heading -1. I want to go down here and I'm going to call this RBSL's Original Stories. So at least there's a brand for our site here. Okay, so we're done with the heading here. Now let's try to work with some of the other sections here. So let's go, and we have the article here and the aside. If I remember it correctly, we have the article and we have the aside element here. So this is the article and the aside. So let's go and try to work with that. So let's go back here and let's see children's stories article. So let's go and apply here a media query and insert that code block inside. And and indent it. Close this. Let's see. I want the font size to be 14 pixels with 90% and margin 0 auto, so that 0 top and bottom and then auto left and right. Okay, so you would see now that our article here has now been repositioned and the aside element is here. So let's go and work with our aside element. So we have here our aside element. Then let's go and copy this and put our aside element here. And I would want the width here to be 90%. Float, I want to be none. Margin, 2% from the top and bottom, and then auto left and right. Then font size will be 14 pixels. Text shadow, I would want to change it to 0 pixels or 0 5 pixels and then 0 or black. Then padding of 5 pixels. Just want that to be 5 pixels. Okay, so now you would see we now have repositioned some of our elements here, and it's now positioned in the middle. So if we try to resize this, and if we try to go and resize it again, now we can see here that it's now more responsive. We can see here that our viewport is not enough for our article elements here. So let's go and increase that. Let's look for our media query here. Perhaps we can make this 195. Let's see how that will look. Okay, still at least 200 perhaps viewport height. Okay, so there we go. Now we have our article in the middle, a side element on top. During mobile responsive layout, during the mobile responsive layout of our project here. Now let's try to go and apply some changes in our photo credit span here. Because it's a photo credit, perhaps we can decrease the font size. Photo credit span. So if you remember, this is that element that we got from Unsplash. So instead of font size 1 rem, let's go use 0.5 rem. Let's see how that will look. Okay, let's have it at least 8 rem. Okay, this is still viewable and viewers can click on it. Perhaps we can go and add some padding top 1%. Let's see how that will look. A bit more, 5%, and there we go. That looks a lot better. So now we're done with the children's story section, guys. In the next lesson, let's work on the community section here. Let me just go and add some asterisk here. That's Control C and V. And that will be all for this lesson, guys. So thank you and see you on our next lessons.